Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. It is Friday, December the 5th, and we got the final injury report dropping for the Packers-Bears matchup at Lambeau Field this Sunday. We got huge Chicago Bears injury news, a starter that is deemed out. We'll talk about what that means and how much production they've got to try to make up by missing that player. We'll also give you a Jaden Reed update, a little bit of footage from practice, and kind of walk around social media touch, give everybody an update on the entire injury report. Before we do, if you guys would do that YouTube stuff for me, hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your afternoon. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you, talking Packers on a daily basis. So if you're looking for that type of content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live every single day, multiple times per day. Before we get into it, guys, I got a co-host today. Look at this. Look at that napping beauty right there. You kidding me? Eddie James. Oh, yeah. She's like, don't bother me, dude. I'm napping. So anyway, if you guys hear barking, she's probably not the one. It's probably Link, her brother. But I apologize in advance. We're dog sitting right now. Just trying to accomplish two things at once, obviously. So let's waste no time and let's get into the injury report. First things first, Adam Schefter broke the news earlier today. I'm pretty sure it was Adam Schefter that broke the news. As he tweeted out, Bears ruled out wide receiver Rome Odunze for Sunday's game at Green Bay due to a foot injury. We've been kind of monitoring this all week long, wondering if he was going to be able to suit it up and go. He is officially ruled out for the Chicago Bears. I think this is huge news, guys. This is their deep threat. This is the guy that kind of complements DJ Moore. DJ Moore, more of the underneath guy, little gadget guy. He can make contested catches. He can take the top off the defense if you need him to from time to time. However, Rome Odunze has definitely been that dude. I think he's averaging over 13 yards per catch. So this is that guy that is kind of their big play dude. Now, listen, you look at his catch percentage, you go 45%. Man, that's cheeks, right? We talked about yesterday how many of those balls were deemed catchable that were thrown to Rome Odunze. And again, catch percentage isn't like removing the noise. It's just simply he was targeted. Was it a catch or not, right? So you got to be careful with some of that. That's why it's so important to understand and appreciate the fact that when someone's catch percentage is so high, it doesn't remove that noise, really tells you how good that player is playing. So when you look at their entire injury report, and we'll come back to it in a minute, Tyreek Stevenson, defensive back with the hip injury, is out. He did not participate all week long, so he's ruled out. Rome Odunze out. And then Ruben Hippolyte, if I'm saying that right, or Hippolyte, is out as well. He is a linebacker. So they're a little banged up at linebacker. They showing TJ Edwards was full participation. Everybody else should be good to go in that regard. But again, Rome Odunze being out could be huge for the Bears. Let's talk about his production and what it means for them to not have him this Sunday against the Packers. If you look, this is NFL Pro data right here. We'll try to zoom in a touch so you can actually see it. This is the production from their top receivers, right? Rome Odunze at the top of the list. You've got 661 yards receiving with 6 touchdowns. Yards per reception, 15 yards per catch. His receiving EPA is 13.2. So again, when you look at these stats here, right, you've got Rome Odunze, number one on their team in both receiving touchdowns and yards. DJ Moore is second at 502. Then Colston Loveland, who's really coming on here of late. Really, really good season for that rookie tight end, 406 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. Luther Burden, their rookie wide receiver, is up to 328 yards and 1 touchdown, which is kind of weird because if you look at the snap count, I bet his routes are significantly higher than Matthew Golden's. Bears fans love to pile on the fact that Golden's having a bad first year, although we know he's been banged up, and the receiver room is kind of, I don't know. You can see here, Luther Burden's considered their 3rd best receiver. Some people would say Matthew Golden might be the 4th or 5th best with the way the receiving room's sit. And that's no knock against Golden. It's just that the Packers stable's a little bit deeper, obviously, than the Chicago Bears. But nonetheless, Rome Odunze being out, guys, is going to be huge. It really is. I mean, you're talking about 661 yards and 6 touchdowns. That yards per reception is going to be really, really big. Now, obviously, you see DJ Moore at 13.2, Colson Loveland at 13.1, and Luther Burden at 12.6. So they're going to try to continue doing what they're doing. I imagine it's going to be Zacchaeus, I think is how you say it. I've always said Zacchaeus, but I think they said it's Zacchaeus, wide receiver there. 273 yards receiving and a touchdown. He'll probably be the one to fill in some of those 11 personnel roles. Does this mean they're going to press into 12 a little bit more? Right? We talked about, I think it's 55% of the snaps. They are in 11 personnel, which is 3 wide receiver sets, 1 running back, 1 tight end. Maybe they'll try to live in 12 a little bit, which will trigger our base 4-3 if that's the case, right? So that means if Quay's healthy, McDuffie will be on the field with Quay and Cooper, or if Quay is officially ruled out, which we'll get to our side of the injury report here in just a second, then maybe it could be something that that obviously Tyron Hopper gets some more snaps, being that third linebacker, if that makes sense. So let's hit the chat real quick. Doug in there says, Clay, do you think this affects any Packers decisions regarding returning players? That is, if Golden or Reed are medically cleared to play, would Matt LaFleur maybe make them a healthy scratch out of caution? I don't think so, Doug. I think it played a little bit of a role last week, but I don't think it'll play a role this week. If Golden or Reed are medically cleared to play, would Matt LaFleur maybe make them a healthy scratch out of caution? I don't think so. I think if these guys are good to go, he wants to get them back into the fold, because you get that ramp up, right? You got to start getting them snaps. You got to start getting them reacclimated to the system and get them those important touches. There's going to be rust there, right? So I think if they're good to go, get them out there for a certain snap count, that type of thing. And if it's a close game, I imagine that Jaden Reed is going to do everything he can to stay on the field. I think he'll fight them tooth and nail to try to stay out there if they do try to hold him out with a certain amount of a snap count limitation, if you will, right? So let's jump over into the Jaden Reed conversation, or really the entire conversation here based around the injury report. Rob Demoski tweeted out, Packers coach Matt LaFleur said Javon Bullard with the ankle will not participate today and said his status for Sunday is up in the air. To me, it feels like Bullard is not going to play. Obviously, it sounds like your boy Nate Hobbs is going to be a little bit closer to playing. They'll probably hold Javon Bullard out, I would imagine, although they're playing it like, hey, he's not going to practice this week and he's going to be a game time decision, right? As for Jaden Reed being ready to go, LaFleur said, quote, hope so, and he's going through the process of being medically cleared. So we don't know for sure yet if Jaden Reed's going to be out there. That's the big question mark that we're awaiting right here, right? And Rob Demoski tweeted out this video of him at practice once again. We'll roll the tape, just let it kind of loop here a little bit. You can see he's doing got some kind of weight bag on his shoulders, jumping up and down, putting some extra pressure on that foot. Obviously, Rob Demoski tweeted out, this could be the final practice for Jaden Reed to get through before he returns to game action for the first time since week 2. Not practicing again, Javon Bullard, Savion Williams, Lucas Van Ness, and Devontae Wyatt. Devontae Wyatt obviously out for the season. Lucas Van Ness, I think he will be out for this game. I think with Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden coming back, Savion will probably most likely be out as well. And Javon Bullard trending towards probably being out, although they may surprise us with the game time decision there. Now, they did ask offensive coordinator Adam Stenavich what he thought about Jaden Reed, obviously. And Rob said, Packers offensive coordinator Adam Stenavich acknowledged there was a part of the playbook they couldn't or didn't use after Jaden Reed's week 2 injury, with Reed possibly coming back this Sunday versus Chicago. Stenavich said, quote, it definitely opens up a lot of things for sure. Now, I think there's a little coach speak here. You guys know how I feel about Jaden Reed. I think based off what I've seen up to this point, Jaden Reed is the best receiver on this team. That doesn't mean he's a number 1 receiver, field tilting receiver, take the top off. He's going to replace Christian Watson. No. Jaden Reed has been the most productive receiver for the Packers the last 2 seasons. Until someone else proves otherwise on a per snap basis, I'm going to consider him the best receiver on the Packers roster. Christian Watson, however, has gone to a whole nother level. If he continues what he's doing and Jaden Reed picks up right where he left off, I think Christian Watson will probably tilt in his favor that that's your best receiver. So with all that being said, I don't think they changed the offense too much. Maybe early on, but you can see this comment that Adam Stenavich made. It sounds very, very global, very vague, I guess. Like it's almost like, yeah, we haven't been able to do that since Jaden Reed's been gone. I think that probably applied the first few weeks. But since then, you've seen these guys move around. You've actually seen Romeo Dobbs come out from the X and play a little F. You've seen Matthew Golden go from the F and play X. You've seen Matthew Golden play Z while Christian Watson's out. Now that Christian Watson's back, Christian Watson's mostly playing Z, although he'll flex to the F. They'll put Golden at the Z. So they're very interchangeable. So I think that's a little bit of coach speak there, that they've been able to kind of run their offense the way they wanted to at least the last 4 or 5 weeks, maybe even longer than that. But Jaden Reed coming back is going to be absolutely huge. Because again, man, he can do it all. He can be a gadget guy. He makes contested catches. We've seen that over and over again. He's a great route runner. He can beat you deep. He can work underneath where he's probably best at. He's a yak guy. He can run through arm tackles, plays very, very physical. And he looked like he was in peak, tip-top shape in terms of just football skill, talent, ability, whatever you want to call it. In week 2, before he got hurt, he was already grading out in the 80s according to PFF. So I don't expect him to just pick up right where he left off. I think there'll be a little bit of a ramp-up period, both with snap count and production that's going to quickly follow that. That's just my personal opinion there on Jaden Reed. But again, you're talking about getting your receiver back that led the team in receiving yards the last 2 years, and I think touchdowns as well, if I remember correctly. You guys double-check me on that. So we'll see how everything shakes out there. One last tweet here from Rob Domofsky, which has the injury report. Let's dive into it as a whole real quick. So he mentioned Quay Walker will play Sunday after missing the last 2 games. Those questionable are Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Javon Bullard, Nate Hobbs, and Brenton Cox Jr. So I think our boy Quay Walker said, enough of this watching these guys go out here and ball out. I'm getting back on the damn football field. I think he's seen Isaiah McDuffie. Listen, Quay's not under contract next year. Isaiah McDuffie is playing like the 7th best linebacker in the league right now from a stacked backer standpoint. If I was Quay Walker, whether I was ready or not, I'd be wanting to get back on the field. I'm not losing my job because I'm injured, right? Not that he was holding out at all. Quay's one of the toughest guys on that team, if not the toughest. He's the green dot. He's a team captain. Coaches love him. I hope he returns to the Packers next year. This is going to be a good test too, though, man. Now the question is, will he just fill in as that third linebacker in the base 4-3, or will they slap the green dot on him and say, no, go back to your full workload? You're the Mike/Will along with Edgerrin Cooper in the nickel 4-2-5, and then they'll bring McDuffie in off the bench. It's going to be interesting to see. That's going to tell the entire story of how they feel about McDuffie, right? If McDuffie goes out there and gets the majority of the snaps with Edgerrin Cooper in the nickel 4-2-5, and then all of a sudden Quay is that third linebacker getting, 10 to 18 snaps, maybe they'll continue to press in and move forward like that. I doubt it. I think Quay will, if he's fully healthy, will go right back to where he was before in terms of snap count. So let's just stick with game status here, okay? Out, we mentioned it. Actually, we didn't mention this, and Marshawn Lloyd is officially out. We knew that was going to happen. Colin Oliver, same thing. They're in that ramp-up period. They opened up the practice window. Lucas Van Ness out, no surprise there. Savion Williams out, so there you go, just like we were talking about. And Devontae Wyatt will be put on IR if he hasn't already by the time this airs. Questionable, which is a 50-50 shot of playing. Javon Bullard, you've got Brenton Cox Jr., Matthew Golden, Nate Hobbs, and Jaden Reed, okay? So I'm hoping Jaden Reed's back. I think Jaden Reed will play in this game. I think Nate Hobbs will play in this game. It just depends on if Javon Bullard's going to be out there. If Bull's out there, I think they'll hold Hobbs out again. If Bullard can't go, they may go ahead and put Hobbs back on the field to play slot. I could see them going that route for sure. Matthew Golden is going to be interesting because it kind of feels like the whole Javon Bullard, Nate Hobbs situation. If Matthew Golden's feeling great and maybe Jaden Reed ain't feeling as good, you go with Matthew Golden and you keep Jaden Reed inactive, right? If Jaden Reed's feeling good, Matthew Golden's not feeling 100%, maybe you go the opposite. You go ahead and have Jaden Reed active on game day, and you put Matthew Golden on the inactive list. I could see that playing out the same way as well. In terms of Brenton Cox Jr., I think there's a reasonable chance he could be playing, although that's that ramp-up period, right? So keep in mind, they opened up that practice window for Brenton Cox Jr., Marshawn Lloyd, and Colin Oliver, if I remember correctly, right? They opened up at the same time. The other two are ruled out. Brenton Cox Jr. is questionable. Does that have more to do with LVN? And they don't have that luxury because they'd like to get Brenton Cox Jr. back into the fold, an extra body out there at edge defender. And obviously with you losing Devontae Wyatt for the season, you sign, I'm trying to think of his name now, Jordan, what was his name, guys? The new dude from the Giants. Help me out in the chat there. Riley. That's right. There you go. I think Doug already mentioned it. So maybe if Riley can play on the interior, but you want to press into that cheetah package, if you want to go that route, because they have a higher EPA in terms of running the ball on a per snap basis out of 11 personnel, which triggers your nickel 4-2-5. Maybe they press into the cheetah package, 3 edge rushers, 1 defensive tackle type approach. If that's the case, that might be why they have Brenton Cox Jr. listed as questionable. They want to get him back to help fill in that role, that void there, obviously. So, as Andy Dubs mentions in the chat, 6'5", 338 pounds for Riley. Whoo, it's a big old boy. That is a big old boy right there, man. Joe Pack Joe says, keep the dot on McDuffie and let Quay rush or spy. That's interesting, right? You could let Quay rush a little bit. I wonder if we'll go with a 3-3-5 look. We've been doing that with the Joker 1 approach, right? Which basically is when we put Micah Parsons playing Mike standing over top of the center. He's kind of mugging the A-gap, but not really until the ball's snapped. What if you went with just a traditional nickel 3-3-5 and had Quay do that and allow Micah to rush off the edge? So it's kind of like a controlled spy, right? Like if the tackle is gonna rush right, and almost like it sets up like a T-Mike stunt, something like that, where the tackle will go first and the Mike will blitz off of that. And it's kind of a controlled rush with a makeshift spy, if you will. In the past, obviously the way we've spied these mobile quarterbacks has been a touch spy with the 1 tech, and then obviously a cage rush with the entire pass rush just to kind of keep them in the pocket, compress the pocket. So it's going to be interesting, man. Going to be really interesting to see how they approach this. And also, how will it change the game plan now that Rome Odunze's out? Maybe you feel a little more comfortable. Okay, we don't have to worry about the shot plays as much, right? Because Rome Odunze is kind of that shot guy for them, or one of the shot guys for them. So maybe you key in on the run even more than we were already talking about doing to make Caleb, hey, look, you're going to have to prove to us you can beat us from within the pocket, getting to your third read, right? And there's a way you can play a little bullseye defense, even though you might not want to play man coverage as much. You can still have a bullseye approach on the number 1 and number 2 read, and then just say, hey, the number 3 is not going to beat us, right? So that could be the case as well. When you look at their entire injury report, again, we talked about the players that are out. Other than that, everybody else should be good to go. So again, Tyreek Stevenson, defensive back, he's out with the hip injury. You've got Rome Odunze with the foot injury. He is out. And then Ruben Hippolyte, linebacker, is out as well. It looks like upgraded TJ Edwards started limited with the hand and the hamstring. He's a linebacker. Limited, full participation today. He's good to go. Kyle Monungai, running back with the ankle injury, did not participate, limited, then full. He's good to go. He's a hell of a football player too, guys. Listen, I know we want the Bears to lose. We want them to get their asses kicked. But watch Monungai run this weekend. He's something else, man. It's really, really amazing watching him run the football. Joe Tooney, veteran rest. He's good to go. Wasn't listed Wednesday. They gave him the day off yesterday. He was full participation today. He's good to go. He'll be out there hell or high water. So that's your injury report. That's how everything is kind of shaking out as we get closer to game day. It's going to be an absolute blast to watch these two teams go at it. I tell you, look how fired up Ed is. You kidding me? Look at this girl right here. Ed. There you go. We're ready for game day over here. We're napping. It's a cold, rainy day in Tennessee. We're just hanging out. Got a little fire burning downstairs. We're going to be back live tonight, 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live, where we'll break down our Green Bay Packer defense against the Chicago offense, which has played really, really well. So you guys make sure you hit like for me, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified when we do go live later. The plan is to have Emilio and Tim in here with us. Jacob may pop in. We'll see if he's got anything going on, but we'll be back in here talking ball here in just a few hours. Hit that like button, guys. Really, really appreciate y'all jumping in here. My name's Clayton. This is PTA. Go Pack, go.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.